Miss me? Okay, before we get started, I do need to apologise for the fact I've not been around for the past couple of weeks and I'm sorry for not uploading a video. I've actually gone and got coronavirus. Yes, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, whatever you want to call it. I had it, I've got over it, I'm better now. However, it did strike me down. I wasn't well, I even ended up in hospital, check this out. So anyway, yeah, apologies for not being around for the past couple of weeks. Anyway, we digress, because today we're going to talk about the 5 things that you should do before you sign a brand deal. What's going on, guys? My name's James, otherwise known as JFeetzz, and if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I create content on various different platforms, the links to all of which are down below, but if you could follow me on my Twitch, my Instagram and my TikTok, it would be massively appreciated. And of course, hit that red button. Oh, and enable notifications as well. So anyway, let's get straight into it. I'm going to talk about 5 things that you should be doing as a content creator before you sign a brand deal. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more information on those. I'm going to give you 3 subsections to each point, and I highly recommend that you take some notes as well. So if you haven't got one of these already, invest in one. I've also included a link below to some really good content creator notebooks that you can buy. So let's get straight to it then. Point number 1. What was point number 1? Oh, I can't believe I'm even going to have to say this. Point number 1, read the contract. Yeah. Point number 1, read the contract. Now, I know this might seem blatantly obvious to most people, but it's a really important point. So don't rush it. Don't let your excitement get the better of you just because you've got yourself a brand deal in your hands now. You're minutes away from signing that. It might take a while, but you don't want to let your excitement get ahead of your judgment. So make sure that you spend plenty of time reading through every section of that contract. Secondly, if something doesn't make sense or you don't understand a particular point in the contract, ask. The last thing you want to be doing is just glancing over it, not quite understanding what it is that you're signing off on that, and then not being able to commit to what it was that you didn't understand. So make sure you ask the question. And thirdly, if you really need to, take some advice from a professional. Now that could be legal knowledge, or it could just be the opinion of a friend who you know has been in the same industry. So that's point number 1, read the contract. Point number 2 on things that you should do before you sign a brand deal. And this is something that I've already alluded to in a previous video, up here if you want to watch that, by the way. So number 2, does it fit? Now I've got some tips here for you, you're going to be absolutely pivotal to this, so listen up. First of all, think of why people watch your content. Is this something that your audience is going to find important, interesting, or useful? Second tip, think about the brand values. Does it align with yours? Do you both stand for the same types of things? So let me give you an example. You might be somebody who wants to preserve nature or better the environment. One of my brand values is that I do like to conserve nature. And I work with a brand called Alive Apparel, who are a clothing brand, and they give a percentage of their proceeds to nature and wildlife charities. I make 0 commission from that brand partnership. However, I can get you 15% off at checkout should you want to purchase anything, a link down below. And the third tip for does it fit is, would you buy what it is that you're promoting? If the answer is no, probably not a good fit. Okay, point number 3. That's 4. Point number 3, what is being asked of you? And what I mean by that is, what is it exactly that the brand are asking you to do in return for the payment? Now, one thing that you won't know, and this is something that brands do have, is something called deliverables. Deliverables for brands are targets that they're trying to achieve internally by partnering with content creators like you. So the question is, do you know your brand's deliverables? If the answer is no, we're going to go back to that same point again. Ask. By gaining an understanding of what a brand's deliverables are, it sets you up better for success. The most important point for you as a content creator is this next point: specific activities. First of all, what does the brand want you to do? Secondly, are you happy to do that? And thirdly, do those asks from the brand fit with your boundaries? Oh, and key point for you, if you haven't already set boundaries, do it. And also, what are your concerns? If there's any part of the things that you're being asked to do that do concern you, then raise that point. But don't just raise the point and cause a problem. Think of a suggestion to replace that, or replace it with something useful that's still going to be useful to the brand, and find a way to align yourselves together. Remember, the operative word in brand partnership is partnership, so they're gonna have to find a way that suits both of you. If of course they want this to be a success, which when they're spending money on it, you'd think they would. So it's in your best interests. The 4th thing you should do before you sign your brand deal is negotiate. Now you're probably sat there thinking, James, I'm just a content creator, I haven't got negotiation skills, what am I supposed to do? Well, again, to reiterate a previous point, seek some advice. Speak to fellow content creators who have got brand deals. Maybe look for an agent or a legal representative. But all in all, it leads to the same thing, and it's knowing your value. It's always a difficult, this one, for content creators. And being honest with you, I've not figured it out myself yet. But you need to try and put a metric on what your time and what your influence is worth. And once you understand that, of the things that are being asked of you by the brand, you can decide then whether you're being rewarded fairly. Have you ever heard the saying, time is money? Of course you have. So, how much money is your time worth? Now, be realistic, if you're a smaller content creator, you can more than likely assume that you're not going to get paid thousands and thousands of pounds for your influence. But also, don't undersell yourself. Set a boundary, set a value on what your time is worth, and stick to it. Now, all brands will come to you, offer you a sum that's going to be lower than what they actually expect to pay. And they fully expect you to come to the table with an offer that's higher than what they're expected to pay. The idea is you meet somewhere in the middle, and then that is the price that you'll be paid for your influence and your time. Now remember, this is your content. This is your video, your stream, whatever it might be, it's your content. So if something doesn't feel natural that the brand are asking you to do as part of that content, say no. Again, establish your boundaries and then find where it fits. Focus on the common ground. Again, feedback those concerns and then make suggestions that will bring it all together. You'll find by doing that the brand are much more open to discussion and will find a compromise with you. Now, I'm going to give you a tip here that people don't really want you to know. Certainly not brands. But take it from me, as somebody who's worked on the brand side with content creators, this is brilliant. And if you do this, you go up massively in people's estimations. Don't be afraid to ask about a brand's long-term plan. You've already established that you've got similar brand values. You've even gone to the length of asking the brand what are their deliverables. So ask them what the long-term plan is. Just by asking that one question at the end, that could unlock another opportunity for you later down the line and maybe another brand partnership. And if you perform well on the current partnership that you're on, you might end up getting paid more for your value later. So there you go, point number 4, negotiate. Now we're getting close to the end now. This is point number 5 of the 5 things that you should do before you sign your brand deal. And this one is more around the brand and what the brand will want to see from you as a creator. So it's really important, this. Oh, good, you're still here. Okay, so number 5, and I have got the right amount of digits up this time. Be prepared to put in the work. And I don't necessarily just mean your content, because you should be willing to do that anyway, because you've been doing that for God knows how long as a content creator. This isn't just about your content. This is about building a good relationship with the community manager of the brand. I mean, asking for updates regularly on what's going on with the brand. And really, really key as well, and this is massive for content creators because it's something probably we don't do as much as we probably should. Ask for feedback. By asking a brand for feedback, what you're actually doing is opening yourself up to criticism. Now, you'd like to think that would be constructive. And if brands want to be successful, then they'll make sure that it is constructive. And please don't take it personally, because this is business and time is money. So take that feedback on board, process it. You might not agree with all of it, but think about what it is that they've said. Go and analyse the content that you've created for them and see what you can do better. Then work alongside the community manager to find out exactly what you can do to make it better together. And by building those solid foundations with that brand, you're setting yourself up for a great relationship in the future. And that's it from me today, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you watch this video if you haven't already. I'll see you all soon.